February 17th, 2017, and it's just about 7 minutes past 10 in the morning here in Northern California. And, it's been all over the news, national news even, about the dam here in Butte County. Of course, Oroville is the county seat. Even though there's a lot less population down there, it is still nevertheless the county seat. Kind of like how Sacramento is the state seat, although Southern California has way more people, something like that. But here in Chico, in the Chico area, there's a lot more people living. But it apparently has subsided, and for now, but it's a huge concern, as you can imagine, having the spillway crumble like it did. And, I'm sure the engineers are scratching their heads, if not kicking themselves in the seat, any of them that were involved in the original, if any of them are still alive, involved in the original pour, or however they, build these spillways. I imagine there's a lot of concrete being poured, and I know there's different qualities of concrete, and there's probably different methods that could have been applied, where one might have been disbanded, another method was adopted. But anyhow, that's enough on that. I might end up going by there today and trying to get my own footage, and I'll post that if I get it. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure a lot of these people are, they're nerve-wracked if they're living in any of those flood zones. And Chico is safe because it's north of there. I guess it's pretty much uphill from the dam. But, any areas below it to the south, even Yuba City, that's a big area. 180,000 people, I understand, approximately were evacuated. That's a lot of people for any Northern California region. But anyhow, enough on that, I guess, and I wanted to move on here. But, I talk about Alex Jones a lot. I guess I am, for all intents and purposes, a little bit fixated with the man. He is a legend. He's an enigma, undeniably. And, it was he that really inspired me to have the nerve, whatever it is, the guts, the courage, the gumption to come out and to utilize my own free speech to the fullest extent possible, to try to influence the affairs of humanity. Basically, that's what you do when you've got something good to give people. It's for good reason, it's for good purpose, it's for good intent. And that's where I'm at, and I never hope to aspire to anything like Alex Jones. I just, like I said, what I want to do is just influence in my own little key way the conversation, because, I wrote something about Alex just now. I just got done writing this, but, why I talk about him so often. He is an enigma. He's an extremely rare individual. He's a mega genius in his own right. He's world famous and unfathomably influential. He's passionately righteous dude. And, I admire him immensely. So, his unbridled lust for freedom, not only of freedom of speech, but absolute freedom. So that's why I stand behind him. And, but nevertheless, I'm probably his harshest critic too, because, I believe as a friend, if you really have decided you like somebody enough, you trust them enough, that, you're a devoted friend. And that's how I feel about Al. Like a brother, With a brother, it's a little different because it's kind of foisted upon you. It's just a family entangled thing. But when it's an existential, it's a extension, not existential, but it's an extension of a metaphorical brother, the family of humanity that I believe he is on the side of. I'm on that same side. So I have an obligation, a duty to, correct as I see fit. Not to say that I'm sitting here perfect, okay? If I suggest that maybe, Alex needs his butt kicked, really, maybe once in a while I also would suggest I need my butt kicked, and nobody's there to do it. It's just I have to kick my own butt, like he has to kick his own butt. We have to let God kick our own butts, so basically is where we're at. At this point of maturity. I mean, I'm a full-grown man. He's a full-grown man. There's a lot of full-grown men out there that understand what I'm trying to convey here. Is that once in a while you just got to take the bull by the horns, discipline yourself to some degree enough to cope, and carry on, and just hope that you are living your life in a way that's pleasing to God above all else. Above all else, I mean, 6,999,999,999 people could disagree with you. Basically I'm trying to say there's 7 billion people on the earth. And sometimes if all those people disagree with you, if you know you're right deep down in the marrow of your heart and your soul, your spirit, your mind, your whole essence, and you've checked in with your owner, with your creator, with God Almighty, this friend, that this is the relationship it's written in the Bible. This is the relationship he wants. It's our friend. It's like our best friend that understands us and loves us in a way that nobody else can love or understand us. And that's a very important criteria that we can't expect any other human being to meet. So this is why we all have to, know when we're right, and we've got to be bold, and we've got to speak out for that. And even if the things we're speaking out for don't affect us directly, like let's say we're well-heeled, we're fabulously wealthy, for example. Okay, our conscience won't leave us alone. So we can never be truly free. We can never be truly happy because we are inextricably interconnected as human beings. And this is what's going on in our culture today. What we're all feeling is like this Oroville Dam. I mean, we're living in very precarious, uncertain, insecure times, tenuous. And we all know that the dam is about to bust as a metaphor for, and we see that damage at the Oroville Dam with the spillway. Well, the engineers are wondering, good God, I mean, if this thing gave and we never expected this thing to give at all, is the dam in any way endangered? Was the wrong concrete used? This sort of thing, I'm sure, is running around in their heads. So, that's where we're at, as a metaphor for where we're at. All this business, all this picking on Trump stuff, and, him having to be sidetracked and distracted with nonsensical stuff. Look, God is with Donald Trump, I believe. I say, you know what? I am wholeheartedly behind him. I trust him. I believe that he's a good guy. And this is how he had to retort to all these innuendos, insinuations, inferences that, he's not wholly patriotic, capitalistic, intelligent, egalitarian, good American, constitutional American. You believe in equality. That's what egalitarianism is. And he believes in prosperity. Okay, there's only two paths we can take and ever find peace. We can all decide we're all just going to be completely poor. We're going to abandon it, give up all our stuff, and one has to ask themselves, what exactly would you possess in terms of material things if it weren't for other people? All of us need to ask that, okay? I wouldn't have bupkis, okay? Nothing. I mean, what would I have? I'd be wearing rags. I'd be, catching my own fish, figuring using the brain God gave me for how to catch fish like a net, like they used to do thousands of years ago. Okay, but you find a way to survive. God gave us the instincts to survive, so we're going to do that. So we could decide if we want to give up all our stuff, all these cool computers and gadgets and smartphones and camcorders and cameras and so many cool electronics. It's also very cool, I think. So I don't really want to give it up, especially if we don't have to mess up the earth to use this stuff. If we recycle anything toxic. I believe in treating the planet good. This is why I'm so opposed to all these guys, these depopulationists out there that want to, destroy the bulk of humanity. Citing that, look, their existence on Earth is inherently bad. I really resent the implication of what they're trying to convey to me. And you should too. We should all hate that. Not hate the person, but hate the implication and call them out on it. And say, this is rubbish, bull crap. Don't hand me this bull. What the hell are you talking about here? Okay, let's talk about disruptive technologies. Okay, what's this all about? We all know it's about money. Don't give us this bull. We know that poverty is invented. You're reducing our standard of living by deliberation. You decided this is the way to go. And, this is what we're all feeling. We all know this is your intent. And, where I would, disagree with a guy like Alex Jones, he gets into economics a little himself. He says he has on all these experts, but he's got all these different opinions. So his head is spinning with all the information too, what's right, what's wrong. But above all else, we have to always bend and yield to our righteous side, to that side that says, that little voice inside that says, look, you've got to value your conscience above all else. And that means in economics particularly, because this affects other people. So this is not just a moral issue like whether I stumble and fall and sin and it doesn't affect anybody else. It's just between me, myself, and God, and that's how it is for you. But whenever your sin, your transgression affects other people in a very direct, profound, tangible way, in terms of economics, it's critical that we understand this stuff. So, you see, I feel like I'm digressing here and there, but look, it all conflates. It all comes together at some point. All these spiritual teachings from the Bible, and how we should live our lives, how we should guard our tongue. It's all in the Bible. So it's not just me getting preachy with Alex Jones, but, I need to watch my tongue too. We all do. Like it's written, do fresh and bitter water come from the same stream, the stream of our mouths? It's our thought system, our belief systems, and we all come from dramatically different paradigms, all sorts of different cultural dynamics, and family stuff is involved in what creates us as individuals, and we are so vastly unique, incredibly, unequivocally, irrefutably unique as human creatures, and we're awesome without unlimited potential. So we're really cool creatures, and we should reach for that. That's the point I'm really trying to make here. Is we should reach for that, and in economics, we should reach for that understanding too. Is that why compromise? Okay, is or is not freedom an absolute quality? Is it just for you and your family for financial freedom? Do you understand that other people want financial freedom too? And what exactly does that connotate? What does that? What are the implications of that suggestion? Okay, it's huge, and that's what we have to understand, is that we've got to take God's eye view in this whole economic thing, because this is the root of all of our problems, all the problems. I mean, vaxxed. Rob Dew was at some seminar where RFK Jr. was speaking about vaxxed, and what's his name, the famous actor. I can't. His name's not coming to me right now, but I got that short-term memory thing. But Robert De Niro. And so, anyhow, but all this stuff, profit is the main motivator, man. The wars and all that comes with the wars, the refugees, and excess immigration. That's all about. Why don't we talk about people fixing their own economic problems in their countries? Let's defer the attention away from what we as Americans aren't doing and say, what in the hell are these people doing? Why do they have this excess immigration? And breathe down the neck of their corrupt rulers. Because that's what it's all about, greed and corruption, the love of money. It's the root of all the evil. Jesus said this stuff thousands of years ago. And I'm here saying it again. And I'm sorry if I come across exasperated, but I want people in high circles of media like Alex Jones to understand this so that they can, be out there preaching the right thing about economics and being a peacemaker more. You know, if I could tell Alex anything, I would say, look, tone it down a little, take a chill pill, and realize, look, at the end of the day, the commies are, you know, and the fascists and the crony capitalists are all willing to get violent, okay, to get their way, to keep their position in place. Oh, so don't think that, you know, by, you know, speaking in their language that it's going to help. It doesn't. We all know that, you know, this thing does lead to more and more division until it comes to a head through some kind of a civil war. Is that what we want? Alex, ask yourself, man. You know that, and you say you don't want it. I know you don't, but we've got to tone it down. We've got to stop, you know, talking about the individual as being evil and that you hate them, but hate the problem, hate the false delusion that they're under. That you know, look, God knows their fruit stink to high heaven. I couldn't agree more. And yes, I understand wishing that lightning would strike them. I get that. I mean, he had Robert Steele on there, the former CIA agent, talking about, you know, George Soros probably isn't going to live the next 180 days. Somebody's going to take him out. I mean, this is incendiary speech in some ways, okay? Violence is not the answer. If God is telling us all one thing, okay, is that this is not the path to go down.